Alright guys, I'm back, and this time for a serious video on my final thoughts of this game, and this will probably be the last we see of it on my channel. I might follow it by myself a bit more as it progresses through alpha and beta, but we will see. If I feel like it, I might throw up a video about it, but it's not going to be an active Let's Play anymore. A, because my file got erased, and B, because it was also kind of falling off on interest level, just because it's so early in alpha that there's not much that you can really accomplish right now with the game. So I was just kind of showing its basics, which was, honestly, I liked them. But first of all, we're going to take an actual look at everything throughout the game, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on it after completing it. So first thing to look at is going to be the options, which are fairly basic, but in my opinion, for something simple, kind of low graphical, it's not really necessary to have a major amount of options. And it's also early alpha, keep in mind, so it could be added a lot more. You have your simple resolutions, your FX, your VSync, and language and gamma. So, you know, very basic stuff. And, you know, there's not really much you can add. It's not like you can add an FOV slider because it is a bird's eye view. So I'm not going to be too skeptical on that. Next would be the audio. The audio is really, really basic. Obviously, sound, music. I mean, I don't really understand what else you could add in a game like this for audio. So yeah, controls, really nice. You have rebindable. Everything you can just rebind, and it automatically just tells you what everything is, so that's fine. For me, honestly, in alpha, I think the options menu is completely fine. So with that, I'm going to move into the actual gameplay of it. So I'm going to skip the prologue, because we've seen all this. If you guys have watched my previous videos, you understand kind of the premise of the game and what's going on. I would like the load. Actually, no, load times don't matter, simply because this is the only load screen you will see, other than entering and exiting the game, which is really nice to see about a game. I hate constantly opening a door or something, going in, waiting 5 minutes for the area to load, and then leaving. That is a complete pain. This game, the only significantly long wait is like first world load up, which might take some time, but other than that, the game runs fine. The game, you can easily accomplish going through into other areas or other houses without some kind of crazy loading screen, which is something that I honestly really appreciate. It's a little thing, but it's super important to add when you're developing a game, and I appreciate that the developers did that. So now we're back in our house, and yeah, whatever. First thing I want to go over is just kind of basic physics. And the physics is done super well. Everything is super responsive. If I walk into a door easily, it'll move, no problem. I have zero problem moving around. It's not jolty at all. It's very efficient when moving. I feel like the kind of like the grabbing and dragging thing is kind of a little unnecessary, at least right now, but you can add some cool things with it. I can see it being used for something really awesome later on, but right now it just doesn't seem important, but that might be just an alpha thing, so I'm not going to put it past that. I do dislike the whole drinking from the well at night thing. I feel like it's just unnecessary. It has no reason to be there. So the well, you could take it out, and I don't think anyone would ask questions why it's gone, because at least right now it does not have any purpose other than a debuff that kills you over time, which I haven't actually died to, actually, now that I think about it, but it's just so out of your way if you're like somewhere in the middle of the night. It's just, why? Alright, okay, the next thing I want to talk about is like the aesthetic of the game. It's a really pretty game in its own way. Okay. It's simple, but it's done right. In my opinion, I like the way it looks. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not absolutely beautiful, but if you look at the textures, I mean, everything there looks like it should be there. I've run into mini games where it is not like that. And it's really disturbing. Like, sometimes there'll be like a rock in the middle of a town or something, or you might clip through stuff, but that's more kind of first-person, third-person-esque glitchy bugs. You can't really run across that as much with this. And everything just looks well done. Like, they put some real effort. Sometimes, though, I do have trouble distinguishing objects in the dark because they're not that clear, but that might be part of the horror aspect of the game. Sorry, lost my train of thought. The whole horror aspect of the game in the dark, I can see what they're doing. Like, you can see some objects in the dark, but you can't see others. Like, if I turn this way, you cannot see the chickens, but if you turn this way, you can. That is really cool because it kind of adds the whole shock element behind it. I'm not one for jump scares, but they kind of did it right here. So that's what I like about this general situation here. And the fact that it's randomly generated works well with this game, because that just leaves the whole thought of, okay, we don't know what could happen. We have no clue what's going to be where. It has the same buildings in different areas because I have created multiple worlds. Obviously, the basic structures are going to be there, the basic buildings, the basic plot is still going to be there. If there's some way that they could change that and make it completely random for whatever world you're in, that would be amazing. I don't think there is, so I'm not going to dock points for that. But that's something I would like to see, if they could accomplish something that unique about a game, because I have not yet seen something like that in game, having a changing storyline based on what world you're in or something like that. I understand that it's probably very difficult and it's probably nearly impossible, but I'm sure that with the right mind and attitude you could easily, not easily, but you could put it together and have an amazing game. Next thing is going to be character interactions. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the design of the characters, the way they look. It's nice and creepy, but I think the text, or everything they say, could be done creepier. Okay, so I mean, if you read some of this, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is kind of, creepy, but it doesn't really fit in the whole horror thing. So I don't really believe. I think they could have worked in some better character text and knowledge behind it. But other than that, I love the way, again, back to the aesthetic, the character designs are beautiful, but the interactions with the character could be done better. And next would be music, definitely. Speaking about it, since the musician's here anyway. Music, fantastic. Probably by far my favorite part of this game. The creepiest part is the music in this game. When you play it, you easily can get a feel for, oh my god, this is going to be a scarier area than being outside because of the way the music changes and the atmosphere changes. And it's just an amazing feeling to sense something like that, because it's not something I can really explain to you. It has like a creepy tone behind it, but it's done well. So, oh, okay, well that's something that added in the new patch, is, that I'll just explain real quick, is this. This is what I had so much trouble with when I was doing my Let's Plays, is they did not have a marker for where you were on the map, and I believe now we do. So, thank God for that, because now it's probably going to be so much easier for people to tell where they are and where they can go. But that was off topic, I'm sorry. So back onto it. Yeah, music, great. Love it. Keep up. Whoever the artist is for that, keep it up. Love that. Next, would be gameplay. Gameplay with this is, it's kind of a mix, okay? Yes, it is a survival horror and kind of an adventure. The problem I have with it, though, is that you will get stuck so easily in certain parts. You will find everything, and you won't be able to figure out where to do. I did have to look up a guide just to figure out that you need to use a Molotov cocktail on the moss. There's no indicator, no hints. They don't help hold your hand at all. I understand that they want to make the game difficult, but there's a difference between just straight-up difficulty and making it so difficult that it's not... It takes away from the gameplay atmosphere at that point, because when I spent episodes wandering around the forest having no clue where to go and just hoping I ran into something, as a gamer, it kind of turned me off, and I was just hoping I would run into something to proceed with the story. Again, maybe an alpha problem because they haven't made much of a story yet, but that is something I really need to see in a game in order to recommend it to someone, is that you constantly have that level of immersion in a game. See, like right now, I'm blindly walking in some direction, hoping to run into wherever I need to go, and I don't know where I need to go. I guess if you talked to the Wolfman or whatever, he'd tell you need to go to links, okay? And then you go find the links. There's nothing to tell you that you need to drag the links back, because I didn't assume in my series that you needed to bring links back to him by dragging it. It just seemed ridiculous. I thought there was something I was missing, and I'd look around for it, and it just seemed absurd that you had to drag the links across the map. That's something in itself that should be changed, but don't draw out the length in the cost of it being entertaining. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I loved the experience. It was worth the money to get, and I'm sure it'll still be worth the money with the constant updates being placed into the game. I just struggled with some of the gameplay, and maybe it's just because I'm a complete idiot. I don't know. That might very well be the case, but that's what the biggest problems I had. Okay, the biggest problem I had in this game would be the combat system, which I can demonstrate literally right now. Okay, if I had a weapon, I literally couldn't attack this dog. Okay, it has been seen in my Let's Play series repeatedly. Any enemy you see will kill you. There's no way to avoid it. Like, if an axe, a plank with nails, whatever weapon that you find will be incredibly, like, if not impossible, incredibly difficult to use on enemies. And so incredibly difficult to the point that it's just it's just crazy. You can't kill anything. It's so difficult that things will just kill you in a hit, and then you have to restart a day and go back and then find all of your stuff again. And on top of that, they add durability to your weapons. That is also incredibly difficult to deal with, because first of all, I can barely use my weapons, and now I'm losing durability because every time I die, I lose durability, or every time I swing my axe or something, I lose durability. And weapons are not easy to come by. There's usually completely random, ridiculous, something crazy about them. It's just, they don't work. You guys need to just fix the weapons. And on top of the durability, you also have the whole perk system, which I do, but you can't use the perk system in this game, because the moment you grab a perk, you will die and lose your perk, because that's what the death deal is. You die, you lose your perk, you lose your durability, and then you're gonna die over and over and over again. It's really ridiculous if I think about it. That was just the most frustrating part of the game, is like the fact that if I ever wanted to move on, I'd have to run around enemies and avoid them, just to be able to get from point A to point B. It's something that is definitely got to be fixed later on in the game. At least like make the enemies attack a bit slower or something, so you can actually get a swing off with an axe or something. Because just running from the enemies, this isn't Amnesia. It's not like you don't have a weapon, you do, and you want to use your weapon, but you physically can't, because the system just doesn't let you. I will say that there are some ways to kill enemies, but they are very expensive. In one of my episodes, I was able to kill a dog with a Molotov cocktail, alright? And that was a very effective way of killing something. But at the same time, it wasn't. Because you know what it takes to make a Molotov? It takes either a bottle, a rag, and a match. Or, I'm sorry, a bottle of alcohol, a rag, and a match. Or a bottle, gasoline, a rag, and a match. Okay. That is so difficult to come by in a game like this. And since I already needed it for the moss, it has multiple uses. So it's not something I would just be throwing willy-nilly at enemies just to be able to get by them. And since I'm sure enemies probably respawn later on, it's astounding, because I'm gonna kill one and then I'm just gonna get hit by another one. How the hell did that dog die? Sorry, besides the point. So the spawn rate is fine. Okay, yeah, the spawn rate's fine of enemies. I can deal with the spawn rate. It's just the weapons that are the most important part that you guys fix right now. The weapons and some spots of the gameplay, so it's less like jerky feeling. That and kind of the barricades, because I believe I barricaded something before and they broke through it with one hit. And then they came in and they just dominated me. So it literally makes it impossible to survive at night, because A, you can't see, B, I believe like it increases the spawn rate by like tenfold or something, and you get absolutely decimated. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, and with that, it's just like, wow, okay, I just died again. And then I just kind of started counting my deaths by how many days I had, because I believe I survived the first night, and then after that I never survived a night again. It was awful. It wasn't awful, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean it was awful. I enjoyed the experience. I did. I want you guys to be able to fix some of these issues I had with it. The main ones just being the gameplay and the weapon system. Other than that, I think it's great, honestly. I love how you guys don't rely on jump scares. I love how good the music is in something like that, in a title like this. And that is most of what I had to say. I'm trying to think of if there's any more criticisms or compliments or something that I can throw at you guys to work on. But that might very well be it. I do like the whole crafting item system. That was good. That's really good. Being able to put together weapons and stuff. Keep that. Definitely keep that. I wouldn't say throw that out in any way, shape, or form. That's really good. And it is also very user-friendly. So, like, good for recording. You can keep it nice and bright if you need to. But, yeah, that is that. That is what I have to say. That's my Dumblebunking on Darkwood. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helps you make some decisions about whether you want to buy the game or not. My final verdict on the game would be, I would wait. I would wait until at least beta or something further came out, and just kind of let some of these little technical issues get fixed. Because I do see potential in this game. I did enjoy myself during it. And if you're definitely like a die-hard survival horror fan, this would be a game for you. They need to fix some of the few little bugs here and there, and the game, I'm sure, will do fantastic. So thank you guys for watching. This has been the first Dumblebunking, and it was a Dumblebunking on Darkwood. I will see you guys later.